Hey everyone, it's UpDog here, and today we're going to talk about what you should upgrade to Gear 20 after the Professor X saga. If you've completed Professor X, you got him unlocked, obviously you want to get him to Gear 20 first thing, so if there's anything you learn from this video, make sure you upgrade him to Gear 20 right off the bat. But I'm going to show you what characters you should consider for Gear 20 upgrades after you get Professor X. So I'll go through who I use for Professor X, so that kind of eliminates those people because they're already done, and then we'll go into who you should upgrade afterwards. So let's get into it here. We are going to sort by gear tier and then do this way. Oh yeah, so the hearts are in the way a little bit, but Omega Sentinel was one that I did take to the Professor X saga. The global villain section isn't really that hard, so but I don't regret taking her. She was good. She's been good in other modes as well, Crucible War, things like that. So even Battle World, I think they have like a global villain section there or something. So yep. Definitely don't regret her. Now, Odin, he was one of my first Gear 20 upgrades. We had gotten some sort of leaderboard, mystic gear from a leaderboard. So, he was so powerful at Gear 20 when that first came out. I was hard to pass up. So, I took him. He pretty much carries the whole Cosmic Hero section. So, it doesn't matter too much who else you take. He just does all the heavy lifting. So if you do him, then yeah, pretty much can do whoever else you want. I went with Havoc here as well for the Cosmic Heroes. He's nice to have outside of the saga for other modes, Crucible and War as well. So yeah, definitely don't regret him. Here's the big man himself, Professor X. Don't pass up the opportunity to Gear 20 him right when you get him. Mephisto was one of the ones, I didn't actually take him to the saga, but I upgraded him a little after I unlocked Professor X. Now I have had Professor X for like 5.5 weeks now, something like that. So I've only done, other than Professor X, I've only done 4 other upgrades to Gear 20. I've been kind of taking it slow. Wanted to see where the game goes as far as like what new characters come out and stuff like that. So been taking it slow. You know me, if you've been watching me for even just a short amount of time, I always tell you to spend your resources wisely, and I live by that as well. So unless you're talking about like Merc Lieutenant, my Twitch chat likes to force me to upgrade him. So yeah, that's another story for another time. But Silver Sable I took to the city section. Now if you take at least three vigilantes, you're probably gonna want to do that at least. And Elektra unfortunately is not great in the saga. I think she does pretty good outside of the saga, but yeah, you definitely want 4 if you can spare the skill gear. It's a lot of skill gear, especially since the global hero section right now, Liberty is the kings in that area as well, and their skill. So yeah, if you can spare the skill gear to do 4 vigilantes and 4 Liberty members, then that's great. But if you can only do 3, then Silver Sable, Hitmonkey, and Punisher, in my opinion, are the best 3. So maybe there is a case to be made about Daredevil, but we'll talk about him here in a little bit. Peggy Carter, like I said, I think she's pretty much mandatory right now until we get some other newer characters out in the game. She was great with her control, her stun, her ability block, slows, all that. So Oath, I just had to balance out my city team with some gear other than skill gear, so she's a little squishy, so you want to put her on the end, but she still does a pretty good job. And so does Blade. Blade was amazing. All of his assists and rewinds and everything. He's a great character still. Emma Frost X-Men, so I did her with some Liberty members, and then another surprise character, which I'll talk about here in a minute. But Emma was great. I did have to reset quite a bit just because of the 5th character that I'll bring up here. But if you do her with 4 Liberty members, that's pretty easy. Just maybe a few resets you'll have to do. Whereas I had to do probably 30 to 40 resets, maybe something like that. So I'll talk about that here in a minute. But it was worth it. So Lalandra, she's required. So can't really do much about that. She's also skill. So take that into account because you're going to definitely have to take her. But like I said, with Odin, she was with Odin, so she did okay, but Odin pretty much just carried it all. And Falcon Joaquin, he's definitely one of the other required Liberty members you want to take, as well as Patriot. So I think Patriot's next, yeah. So yeah, those 3 Liberties for sure is who you want to take, and then from there, if you want to get through it easy and not have to reset, I would take Cap Sam. We'll talk about the other option that I ran myself. Lady Deathstrike, she's a great character outside of, in any mode really. She's really great in War, really good in Crucible, so that's why I took her over like a Nimrod. So yeah, she still does really good. No real complaints about her. Thanos, he's still the man. He's still really good character. Don't regret him at all. Omega Red Phoenix, I am glad he worked out. I wasn't sure, I think at the time, I literally just got him to 1 diamond, but I think when I ran the saga, he was like 5 yellow, 5 red. He still did a great job, didn't have any problems surviving or anything like that. That section, well, yeah, the global mutant section, or the global villain section is pretty easy, so it was worth it to have him on my roster bigger for the other game modes and stuff. Jean Grey, I did her after I unlocked Professor X. Was kind of on the fence about her, but she's been all right. I guess I don't regret her. Like I said, I was kind of on the fence, but I'm glad I did do the G20 on her. Punisher's been amazing. Great damage, great passive, great special. Nothing to complain about him. Scientist Supreme, like I said, that section, the global villains, was easy, but having that revive to fall back on, or the healing to fall back on, was definitely helped. Gladiator, can't really say much bad about him either. He's just there to take some hits, and he hits pretty hard too, so. Sentinel was there he did a good job, protecting the rest of the team. Really no complaints about him either, so overall, this was probably the between the Apocalypse Saga, we didn't really have a choice at the time when I did it, but across all the other Dark Dimensions, I had a couple of characters where I was like, well, I really wish I wouldn't have taken them, but for this saga, I didn't have any of those regrets at all for any character that I took, so that's kind of nice. Groot, he was kind of the sneaky MVP after Odin. Probably the second best character that you could take for the Cosmic Hero section, just because of his ult, cleanses, and the death proofs that he puts out on his special, so yeah, definitely a good character to bring. Then we have Gore here. Again, Annihilators, can't really complain about them. They just do their job, they do great, so yeah, not much more to say. He was a great choice. Hit Monkey, definitely one of the ones of the vigilantes that you want to bring. I think I had him at like 4 or 5 stars when I took him into the saga, so he still did good, so yeah, really good choice in my opinion. Another one, Shadow King. His passive did amazing, paired with Null and the Annihilators, it was just basically auto all the way through. Daredevil I did do after I unlocked Professor X, just because I really like the Vigilante team a lot. They do a lot of work in Crucible and in War, so they do good pretty much everywhere, and I thought having a bigger tank is always good. So, alright, next up we have Null. Again, amazing character. He was fit well with having Gore on the team as well, with Annihilators, so no... all my praises for every one of my characters. Quasar, I wasn't sure of like how he would do. He was low stars at the time. I think he was like 4 stars. But he still did quite a bit of damage. He hung in there. He was maybe a little squishy at that point, but still did pretty good. And he's a cosmic hero. Oh yeah, so yeah. He had Odin's help quite a bit as well on that team, so... Then here we go, the global hero that Hank did save me from spending extra gear on maybe like a Cap Sam or something. But like I said, it did take me like 30, 40 resets to finally beat that Shadow King boss. But in the end, I think it's worth it because he's been really good for me outside of the saga and other modes, so I don't mind grinding for things. Especially if they save me down the road. So still, I think this was probably, for me anyway, a good choice. I don't regret it at all. And then the other last surprise that actually Old Timey Gaming gave me the idea to use Zombie Juggernaut here. He said it worked for him pretty well. I mean, the global villain section is pretty easy, so Zombie Jug, I think I had to reset one node one time, and other than that, he did just fine, so I was happy with that. Oh yeah, that was my choices and some of my upgrades that I've done since getting Professor X. Now, let's go through some of the characters that I think it'll be worth it to upgrade here in the future. So obviously we got our top row here of characters that I've done since getting Professor X. Invisible Woman is one of them, and I think the other 2 Fantastic Four, the new characters, the Fantastic Four MCU characters, are going to be worth it. Franklin looks amazing in his kit, and Mr. Fantastic, he'll be the tank of the team, so again, having a bigger tank is going to be great. But, and you know, their arena, they're going to be good in other modes, I think, so those are definitely characters that I'm saving my gear up for. They are bio, so they are going to overlap with some of the characters on this team here, or on this list here. So I'm definitely going to do the Fantastic Four characters first, and then go on to the other bio characters that I have on this list here. And it's not a very long list because I don't believe in putting Gear 20 on every single brand new character that comes out. Only the characters that are super plug and play and have a lot of potential uses down the road. So first up for me is going to be Kahori. I think she's going to be good for quite a while still. She's got good kit, good mechanics. So yeah, I think she's going to be worth it to go to Gear 20. I have a lot of Mystic gear personally, so looking forward to probably putting Gear 20 on her very soon. And arguably, also, to go along with Kahori, you could also do Miss Marvel Classic here. So that's another choice. I'm not sure. I'm on the fence about her right now, but for sure Kahori. Alright, so then the next one we're going to talk about is Phoenix. Now, Phoenix is going to be getting a full Crucible team over the next 3 years, I guess. 3-4 years. So I think she's going to be worth it. You'll always need to put investment into her anyway, so might as well put Gear 20 on her. So that's kind of my thoughts there. Yeah. I do have a lot of mutant gear as well, so looking at probably doing her next for my mutant gear. Now for Cap Sam, he's obviously good with the Liberty team, but he's also a good plug-and-play character. In Crucible, you know, they have those rules sometimes where it's like the ultimates cost more energy. Well, he's got a great special that taunts and gives energy, defense up, so, you know, if he does get his ult off, he'll give speed bar to everyone as well, so it's, he's a good plug-and-play character, a tank, so I think he's worth it. Looking forward to any skills, so like, after you get done with the Professor X saga, there's not a lot of skill characters out there that are worth it anymore to upgrade, so, but he is one of them, so. Now we go to Scroll. He is bio gear, and he is starting to see that power creep hit him quite a bit, but to combat that, you can take him to gear 20. He is kind of expensive. He's 5 gear pieces here, so it's kind of a on the fence move. He is a good plug and play, obviously, so that's the reason why he's on this list mainly. But for me, I'm gonna do the Fantastic Four characters, probably Songbird after them, and then probably look at Scroll. Then we have Apoc. He's kind of in the same boat. The power creep is starting to hit him. He's also 5 gear pieces as well, so he's 125 of the mini unique, so he's expensive, but he does have a lot of good qualities for him, so he may be at the end of the list for you, but I still think he'll be worth it to upgrade. And then we have another mutant, Old Man Logan. I think he's probably going to go, for me anyway, after Phoenix. He's still really good. He's got a lot of great stuff going on in his kit and everything, so taking him to gear 20 I think is still going to be worth it, because especially his Mercs for Money team is going to be good in war for a while still as well. Then we might have one that surprises you here, Black Cat. Again, she's skill, kind of like Cap Sam. There's not a lot of other skill characters that are going to be worth it to upgrade, but I think she is one of them, and you know, she's used in some of the Professor X counters that we're seeing now, so giving her some more stats and everything isn't always a bad thing. Plus she's got all those death proofs to keep her alive, so definitely worth it, I think. Then we have Songbird. Like I said, probably going to do her after the Fantastic Four characters. You're seeing her in a lot of Professor X counters as well, so definitely think she will be good for quite a while. She's really fast, she flips buffs, so great character. I just wish I had all the skill gear in the world, or not skill gear, bio gear in the world, to just upgrade her right now, so. And then the last one on the list here, I believe, yep, here's the last one. Alright, so Captain Britain. So, let's talk about him a little bit. There's not a lot of Mystic characters left after the Professor X saga that you necessarily need to upgrade. He is old stats, but he does see use in, obviously, Crucible, but also in War as well, so he's the tank. He has that passive damage, too, that if you bring him up to gear 20, then he'll get some extra, you'll see some extra damage out of him on that. So I think he's worth it, especially if you've done quite a few Mystic characters already. So definitely something for me that I'm looking at doing as well. So, well, let me know down in the comments what you guys, if you guys have gotten Professor X, who's the first 3 characters that you have upgraded after you've unlocked him. And let me know if I'm completely crazy on some of these picks. I tried to pick ones that I think, are going to be good relatively for a while still and have good plug and play value. So if I completely missed a character, let me know too. But until next time, make sure you spend those resources wisely, everyone, and we will see you around.